Hello, scientists. We're still talking about the cell. I have one. I have a plant one over here, too. I don't know if you can quite see it, but it's there. There's plant cell. So there is some debate about whether the nucleus or the mitochondria is the most important part of the cell. It kind of depends on if you're talking to somebody who's concerned about genetics or somebody who's concerned about ATP and energy. I would say your DNA is pretty important, but also having enough ATP to get through today, also important. Plant cell, right there. We have cell walls, things of this nature. Very exciting. Okay. Let's talk about the endoplasmic reticulum. It's one of the main manufacturing facilities in the cell. It produces a variety of molecules. It's connected to the nuclear envelope. It's composed of interconnected rough and smooth ER. Here you go. Here's the ribosomes. What do the ribosomes do? We'll get to that. The rough ER has ribosomes on it. The smooth ER does not. That feels like a multiple choice question. What's the difference between the smooth and the rough ER? The rough ER refers to ribosomes that stud the outside of the membrane. The ER makes more membrane. Ribosomes attached to the rough ER produce proteins that will be inserted into the growing ER membrane, transported to other organelles, and eventually exported. Some products manufactured by the rough ER are chemically modified and then packaged into transport vesicles. We'll talk about the very exciting pathway of transport vesicles in a little while. So here we go. You have the ribosome. Basically, this is coming to you from, it has DNA, it's made mRNA, and it is bringing to you, the ribosome is making your polypeptide, which folds, as we already know, into a protein. And that protein takes a little trip. It has a little transport pod, if you want to think about it like Star Wars. And it goes into this transport vesicle, and it kind of buds off the ER and goes out to where the protein is needed. So you have your ribosome, which is your rRNA, which brings your messenger RNA, which transports your polypeptide made from amino acids, and brings this all into the rough ER. So basically, you are making a protein here and sending it off to where it needs to go. The smooth ER seems significantly less cool. It lacks ribosomes. It produces lipids and steroids, which are necessary but not nearly as cool as proteins. It does help your liver detoxify circulating drugs, so we're gonna give it some points for that. But still, I'm gonna say the rough ER is way cooler and much more significant. So here again, you have your rough ER, which has your ribosomes, and your ribosomes are what is going to bring and make your proteins from the nucleus. The Golgi apparatus. It's very cool to say. Let's not forget. Basically, it works in partnership with the ER. It receives, refines, stores, and it is also part of that distribution system that distributes things throughout your cell. Here you go. Here's your receiving side of the Golgi apparatus. Here's what it looks like. Basically, these vesicles, it's also going to transport things in vesicles to various parts of your cell. Transport vesicle from the rough ER, delivering a protein, will come into the Golgi apparatus, and it will also transport from the Golgi apparatus past the plasma membrane. It basically consists of a stack of membranes. The products made in the endoplasmic reticulum reach the Golgi apparatus in transport vesicles, and then the proteins within those vesicles are modified again in the Golgi apparatus, and it is shipped through the Golgi stack and deposited into the proper organelle and through the plasma membrane. Okay, a lysosome is a membrane-enclosed sac of digestive enzymes found in animal cells. Basically, enzymes in a lysosome can break down large molecules such as your proteins, your polypeptides, your fats, and nucleic acids. So you need something to actually break those proteins back down into amino acids and nucleic acid, and that is going to be your basic lysosome. They have mostly digestive functions, food to digest enzymes. Oh, here we go.
lysosomes are made on ribosomes bound to the rough ER and moved through the endomembrane system.
There it goes.
In this case, the lysosomal protein-containing vesicle that buds from the Golgi apparatus is the lysosome itself.
There it goes. So here is our, let's say that something came from the Golgi that is a lysosome to digest food. It will again go in one of these transport vesicles. It kind of pinches its skin off and then moves it where it's going to go. So here's the plasma membrane. We talked about the phospholipid bilayer. Basically, that is going to allow it to pinch itself off and move it. So it can move the lysosome, which digested some food, and it will allow these digestive enzymes in here to digest your food. Lysosomes can also destroy bacteria, engulf and digest other organelles, and sculpt tissues during embryonic development, helping you form structures such as your fingers. So, while you're using a pencil, say, "Thank you, lysosomes, for helping me form fingers." Also, you can mock your pets that don't have appendages and be like, "Oh, I guess your lysosomes didn't really work that well." Importance of lysosomes to cellular function and human health. Really, if you look at a person who doesn't have appropriate lysosomal digestive system, typically a person with a disease in the lysosomal storage is missing one or more of the digestive enzymes normally found, and this obviously has intestinal effects. They can't break down food very well. A lysosome that has become engorged with indigestible substances will interfere with other cellular functions, and most of these diseases are very fatal. Okay, vacuoles are large sacs made of membrane that bud off from the ER, the Golgi apparatus. Food vacuoles bud off from the plasma membrane, and certain freshwater protists have contractile vacuole. So we saw one of the protists. If you saw it, it looked like this, and it did have a vacuole that was contracting and filling with water. You had to look at it for a long time, the paramecium. A central vacuole can account for more than half the volume of a mature plant cell. The central vacuole of a plant cell is a versatile compartment that stores organic molecules, absorbs water, and contains pigment in plants, attract pollinating insects or poisons that protect against plant-eating animals. You should have seen this in your slide in lab. Basically, your Elodia slide should have looked just like this, and what you're looking at is the cytoplasmic streaming that was happening in your plant cell. Here's the paramecium doing the same thing. Okay, here's the central vacuole in a plant cell. Okay, again, rough ER takes our transport vesicle carrying enzymes that you made from DNA to mRNA to the ribosome. The ribosome brings it here. Then it puts it in this vesicle. That's going for processing in the Golgi. The Golgi is going to process it. It's going to maybe spit out a lysosome carrying a digestive enzyme. It's maybe going to carry out a vacuole. It's potentially going to just transport it here, and then it's going to secrete into the cell. So those are three options of what could happen to the proteins that are coming to be sorted. So this is like your Amazon warehouse here. The product is being made over here. The Amazon warehouse is sorting it and then taking it where it needs to go. The mitochondria. That's everybody's favorite, right? The powerhouse of the cell. Chloroplast and mitochondria. A cell converts energy obtained from the environment to forms that the cell can directly use. Mitochondria, plant cell. Chloroplast, plant cell, animal cell. Here you have mitochondria. Here you have chloroplast. Okay, chloroplast. I'm almost at 10 minutes. Okay, we'll pick up chloroplast. Gripping tail coming to you in part